Hello, journalers. It's day 3, letter C of the ABC April 2025 collaboration. And I am doing circles and clusters today. And just this one page is enough, but I'll show you a couple little samples also from a couple of the other books. So what I've done on this page, it was pretty bare when I showed it to y'all in the B for butterfly shaped journal day yesterday. And today I've taken the tag that was on some merchandise. It was a circle tag. And I have used a piece of scrap paper. As I've been working in these shaped journals, right next to me, I have a box full of all of what all of us call scraps. All the papers that go with all the books that I'm making. And I'm refashioning these things into different embellishments. And I covered with this beautiful cardstock, and I used Fabri-Tac because the tag was glossy. So I covered it and then I inked it. I've never used this beautiful fossilized amber as a distresser, but it has ended up being perfect for these journals that I'm working in. So I noticed that Gail has a really fancy thing that looks like a salt or pepper, a pepper mill. And I got to looking around, and then I saw someone else uses a empty spool thread. So I looked around and I had this, and I'm using this with a glued on makeup sponge, and this is how I distress the edges of my work. Maybe tomorrow I'll do distressed, but I distressed around the edges and I hot glued it. There's my hot glue gun right next to me. I have gone through buckets and buckets and buckets of these tiny glue sticks in these projects. So I glued this here. I made sure that the back side was fine. It's, there's no writing or anything showing. And I glued it. And then I went into my box next to me and I found a couple pieces of the cardstock leftovers that make sense to make journal tags. So they're in the circle and ready to put some maybe coffee stained, tea dye stained papers on the back. But that's my circle, and I've added onto it. I put this little thing on it and a flower to embellish further. And then yesterday all we had up here in this corner was this butterfly that I'd put in. And I took more of the paper and went around the semicircle. So this is a half circle. And I glued it on because I had patched in a piece and it didn't look super pretty. So I used this to make a semicircle. And then it's kind of like a hidden little, you could put some little hidden stuff in here because I made the last scrap into a little journal card, distressed it, and it tucks up in here. I got this little second hand embellishment in here too, just to add drama. And then I took a piece of this and glued it here and put 2 flowers here, mainly because there was some writing showing from the other side that I did not catch all the times that I had tried to get this perfectly ready. And so I want to show you a front cluster. A cluster is, in my opinion, three to 5 things that you put together. And yesterday, all I had up here was the butterfly, and it was not touching. I think a cluster should all be touching, and I kind of messed up when I put this butterfly on. So I had this big, gigantic flower, and this was my last flower, so I went ahead and tucked it in here. I made sure that the butterfly was touching, and this is just the back of a calendar that shows what's going to be in the monthlies, and I was going to use it as a pocket because in a perfect world I probably would have just used one just this one, and not use this one here. But I just put the cluster of 2 up there and then clustered all the flowers and the butterfly around it. So there's a cluster on the front cover. And then I just was going to show you a couple more for the letter C cluster. I don't think I've done any other circles yet, but I do have a couple clusters going in my rainbow journal that I'm still working on. And I thought they were so cute I had to show them to you. This is like summer, like parasols and seashells. So I dug into all my stickers, and in my seasonal stickers, I got out all my ocean things, and I put the last sticker, you know, see that I used this on it, sorry. And then I went ahead and put this flower in because just to add one more thing, I kind of think there needs to be 3. And so I had the last 2 shells, these beautiful 3-dimensional shells, and I put the shell on the last shell down here. I had this little piece that I had used and just glued it here. I put the flamingo sticker to where his little foot was hanging out down here. This is the last, so I used up a bunch of stuff. This is my last of the flamingo, last, and made this beautiful cluster situation. And then the very next page is fall. So I have a cluster, the last of the clusters with my pumpkins, where this like says Autumn Grace, the clustered together with the pumpkins, and this one says Hello Fall. So that's what I've got in this journal. And then one more journal to show a couple clusters. The front cover of this one, I clustered a butterfly, a flower, and a little wax seal. And then I'm still working. This is a work in progress. I've kind of clustered the beautiful trim with a wax seal and the big butterfly. I could see that this page can handle a big saying. Once I do the sayings, you know, that'll come across here in different cut up pieces and be a beautiful page to behold. And then I thought I had one more, maybe the paper fell down and I can't see it here. So C for cluster, C for circle. God bless you. See you on day D. Thank you.